This is another example of like a boy shirt, but it's more hipster because it's lower, so it's not going to be all sticking out the back when you're bending over or whatever when you're in period and just in general. But these are pretty stretchy. It has a okay size amount. This is more for like liners, not for big old pads, but again, it's like stretchy. It's enough coverage in the bottom even to have a pad if you wanted. These, it's like a thong. Again, like if you want to wear it, okay, but where are you going to put it? Wear a liner or wear a tampon. And this is like a G-string. Again, like, you know, when you think about it, if you're going to your friend's house or a boy's house and you just still want something that might be hanging out looking good, fine. But you gotta prepare yourself. If you're new at this, you're not gonna want to wear these underwears because, first of all, like, they might look cute, but you might get them ruined, and that's something else I'm gonna show you in that bag. But you just gotta think about what you're gonna wear when you're on your period. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like all to you, but you want to be smart about it. And these are really stretchy, and again, these are shaped just like these ones, and it's okay with down there to put a pad. But if you wear your underwear that are your favorite kind, like me, this is like one of my favorite pairs. You're not gonna want to ruin it. If you're sleeping in it and it comes all up the back, pink is a light color, it's gonna show blood. Okay, some colors that are darker, like if it were this color, it might not matter. But if you don't want to ruin, don't wear them if you're not sure of how heavy your blood flow is going to be. These ones, again, like these are just like kind of like hipster boy shorts. These red ones are actually pretty much boxer briefs, as you can see. And they go way down. And these ones actually are pretty frumpy and they stick up off the top of my jeans. But I mean, they have lots of room to cover everything, so it just kind of depends on how much room you have and what you're trying to do with it. Dark colors are always good to go if you're worried about spotting on them, you know, or even if you're running out of underwear. Like, just darker colors is the best way to go if you don't worry about getting something on it, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, too, if you wear jeans in the beginning of your period, it's a lot harder to see than per se like really light sweatpants, because it'll seep through. So jeans, nobody can really usually tell. And again, like, this is really comfy and it's pretty flexible, but this would be, again, something you'd probably want to put a liner in unless you got a tampon in. So these are just some ideas of underwears to wear or not to wear when you have your period. And in this bag, we have, these are old underwears. It's a period bag, okay? If you've known anybody that's had their period, my aunt has one of these too. It's a bag full of underwear that you've perioded on. It's your period bag. It's your nasty underwear that you wear when you're on your reg and you don't want to ruin your good ones, okay? So, you know, they might have been cute at a fucking point, but if you look, I mean, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little bit yellow right here. If you look inside, it's yellow. I mean, it'll eventually go from red to orange to yellow. It disappears after time. But just going through them, like, you think of throwing these away, right? But if you think about it, sometimes it's good to save them, because then you can just ruin them over and over again, okay? I mean, if you really wanted to throw every pair that you ruined, if I would have done that, I would have had no underwear, okay? So, you know, I mean, it can be on the sides, in the middle, whatever. I'm trying to find one that might have something on the back, but that's just, like, the worst of it. But like I say, it's like, this one's horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just went off the freaking sides. Even went up here, you know? Like, when you go to sleep, I actually don't have a towel, but when you go in your bed, take a towel, fold it in half, sleep under it if you're heavy. You know, if you're going to be sleeping for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, and you don't think you're going to get up in the middle of the night, and you know you're going to fucking period on your bed, get a towel and sleep on that shit, okay? Save your freaking bed sheets a wash. I mean, you know, wash them every 2, 3 weeks, whatever your mom wants to do, or whatever you do, but, you know, to save yourself some time. See? So, I mean, it's nice to have a bag. I mean, I don't really wear these all the time. I still wear some that are nice. I just don't even have a heavy as of a flow as I used to. But I did used to have a really heavy flow, so this is what that bag was for. So, and I actually have a list of reasons. Actually, I'll just go to this because I don't want to skip this. This was inside the tampon box, and actually, if you buy any type of tampon boxes, they're going to have a little instruction sheet in here and also a warning sheet on the other side of it, just explaining, first of all, how to insert a tampon, and it's basically what I showed you. And I mean, there might be different ways people do it, You know, you could be standing up and put your leg up on top of the sink. You know, you can do whatever. You can bend over. I personally, before I had my period, my best friend asked me to put a tampon in her, and I did. And she was scared. I was scared, but I did it. And then, like, I took one and put it in myself. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be ready when I have my period. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of put it together myself. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, they show you how to applicate the tampon into you, depending on if you have cardboard or plastic. And this one is cardboard, so. Okay, warnings. Basically, the biggest warning with tampons, if you decide to wear tampons, is TSS, toxic shock syndrome. I mean, there are other things that might happen to you while on it, but it's usually because of the TSS. And I'm going to try to put this up a little bit closer so you can see. But warning label, it's very serious. Signs of TSS are sudden fever, usually 100 degrees, or 102 degrees or more. Vomiting, diarrhea, fainting, or near fainting when standing up. Dizziness or rash that looks like sunburn. Other signs include aching of muscles and joints, redness of the eyes, sore throat, and weaknesses. If these signs of TSS appear, you should remove the tampon at once. Get it out of your pussy right away. Call your doctor. Discontinue use. And like you said, see your doctor immediately. But if for some reason you can't stop wearing tampons or you think you still should, but you're kind of like worried about it, you can even like substitute with pads like on and off, okay? But these are a couple things that they suggest to do to reduce the risk. So follow the directions for tampon insertion and use. You know, you have to make sure you're doing it the right way, first of all. Use the lowest absorbency tampon for your flow. So if you're like really light and you're wearing super like I had in there, you do not want to do that. You want to wear like a small or like a normal or a regular. Sometimes they put it on the tampon boxes, and that just basically is the amount of cotton, usually by length, that they allow you to insert into yourself, depending on how big your flow is. So if you're really light, and sometimes maybe you have heavy, maybe you want to get a box of regulars or little minis, and then a box of medium or supers, you know, just in case. Do not extend the wear time by using higher absorbency tampons, and change tampons at least every 4 to 8 hours. They say 4 to 8, I say 3 to 4. You don't want to go too long. You don't want to wear out your pussy. You don't want it to be too dry. You know, you want to make sure that it still has some regular moisture down there that's supposed to be normal, so you don't want to take away from that. Remove your last tampon at the end of your period. Do not use tampons between periods. If you're not on your period and you're still having color down there, that's probably your discharge, and you get that actually normally usually like 2 weeks after your period, because it's just your body ovulating, which is getting yourself ready for your next period. So you might see colors of like yellow or white, and it might be thick, it might be goopy, it might be nasty, it might be sticky, but it's all normal. Okay, so don't wear tampons just for that. Use like a pad liner to put in your underwear. Alternate tampons and pads to avoid continued use of tampons. So if you're just afraid about tampons, that you're overusing it too much, just start using some pads, you know. And like I said before, as a tip, put a liner on top of your pad and keep taking the liner off if you don't want to waste pads, or you just want to use little liners. Put the liners on the pads. Not using tampons in general. Stop using tampons. And then knowing the warning signs of toxic shock syndrome, like I said right here. So that is that, and this should be in every box of tampons, I think, pretty much.